Headmaster, Richard, parents, teachers, and pupils. First, may I apologize for being late. I had another rather marvelous duty to perform today. I was giving the new colors to the number 10 squadron at Bryce Norton. It was a great honor to do it. They carry out their duty wonderfully and well, so that the rest of us are secure in the freedom we enjoy. And I know you'll understand that we didn't quite get the time of the journey right from Bryce Norton to Berkhamsted. At least we would have done if it hadn't been such a rushed rush hour. However, we are here and absolutely delighted and thrilled to be at the dedication of this renewed school. When we talk about education, we're always uniquely in the company of many, many experts. It is a unique subject because we have all, by definition, experienced education, and therefore we think we all know about it. Perhaps it is that we enjoyed and valued the education which we received, which is certainly true of myself. Without a marvelous education, I should never have started on the path which led to number 10 Downing Street. Perhaps some of those who are a little bit older know how much we struggled to choose the right school for our children, knowing that after a secure home life, education was the most precious and far-reaching gift that we could give them. And of course it is. You have chosen this school. I am sure your choice was an extremely wise one. Pupils today will perhaps have to learn rather more than we did in one way. They'll have to know more science because most industry and commerce has a scientific base to it. They will have to remember that we're going to be part of Europe in a much more active way than ever before. And if I'd had a fairy godmother, I would always have wished that I could have been taught many languages. It would have been so useful to me in later life. And so they are going to have to learn many, many lessons. And may I say this to the children? The things that you learn very early in life stay with you longer than anything else. If you don't learn them when you're young, you have to learn them when you're older. So the more you can put in now, the better it will be. Your headmaster and I sometimes worship at the same church. So let me tell you just a little story which might illustrate what I mean. And I'll tell you about a vicar and his son who went to church on Sunday morning, and as well as taking money for the collection, which we all have to do, rather more than we can afford, or we should take more than we can afford, he also put a coin in the box for charity at the back of the church. And that day, the subject of the charity was for old vicars who had retired and needed looking after. In they went to the back of the church. One coin went in, a 10-pence piece. The service was held. And after the service, they went into the vestry, father and son, thought they'd get the benevolent box to open it. Opened it, and out rolled one coin, a 10-pence coin. And son said to father, "Dad, if you'd put more in, you'd have got more out." Now, I tell you that story. Dad, if you'd put more in, you'd have got more out, because that's like life. If you put more effort into your lessons, you'll get more out of them. If you put your more effort into helping others, you'll get a greater feeling of satisfaction out of it. You could put it another way. I remember one mother saying to another, "My goodness me, your son is very lucky, isn't he?" "Yes," said the other mother. "The harder he works, the luckier he gets." It is, in a way, saying the same story. And so, if you learn everything you can from your marvelous teachers, you'll find it will stay with you for the rest of your life. But your parents here will know that we don't send children to school only to learn their lessons, although that is extremely important, particularly the basic things, particularly the science, particularly being taught the wonderful things that this country has done, particularly being taught about many other peoples overseas. We also come to learn some other things. It's really about the way to live, because when you come to school, you're much more than one pupil. You are part of the life of a school. And we all remember how we were taught that what we did, both in school and outside, upon that depended the reputation of our school. Because we learn not only how to live in our own way, we have to learn to live with others. And as you know, when you play games, for example, you've got to learn the rules before you can play the game. When you live in a family, you have to live by certain rules. When you live in a town or country, you will have to live by certain rules and uphold them. And really the lessons one learns at school go way, way, way beyond the academic lessons. They go to learning the lessons of life. They go to learning how to be generous to other people. They go to learning, if I might turn to parents, the obligations of society, as well as its entitlements, because we know that before anyone can have an entitlement, before anyone can enjoy a benefit, someone else has first to carry out an obligation. In other words, we learn to give as well as to receive. I know that the parents would wish me to say this, that the standard of a school is determined by its head teacher, by the teachers, and by the cooperation one receives between parents and teachers. I think in this school you have a marvelous headmaster. I'm sure you have wonderful teachers, and I can see from the number of people who are here that there will be that supreme cooperation, dedication, sense of purpose between parents and teachers, which is so vital to the future of our children. Can I say just what a joy it was to come in, and as we had our opening prayer, to hear just the voices of children say the Amen and to sing the hymns. There's something about the voices of children altogether. There's nothing else like it in the world. And all we as parents know full well that once we had our children, whatever we said before we had them, once we had them, they dominated our lives totally. And there is nothing too much that we can do for them. Whatever we do, we still want to do more. You have done such a great deal in sending to this school, and for me, it is a privilege to be here at the opening of it. One final point. You are in a new building. Other people in future, if another Prime Minister comes here in 20 years' time, 20 years is such a long, long time for people. Oh, it's terrible. It goes back to Methuselah. If you know about Methuselah, it is terrible. But let me say this to you. You might have another Prime Minister when men Prime Ministers come back into fashion, and my Prime Minister might come here. Yes. He might come back for the 25th anniversary of this opening. And I would like him or her to be able to say something like this: what a lot we owe to the tradition set by the first pupils and the first teachers in this school. They've set standards for the rest of us to live by. Now, only the first classes and first teachers can do that. That is your privilege, that is your chance, and I am sure you will do it. May I wish you all success and happiness in your great endeavor.